Colyer Lake provides a wide range of recreational opportunities. We would like to show you a bit of its history and where the water that supplies it comes from.
Colyer Lake is a 72-acre Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission lake. It was developed for public fishing and boating as a federal aid project. The water that supplies Colyer flows mainly from the upland areas southwest of the lake, between Thickhead and Tussey Mountains. A series of springs and small tributaries drain into Sinking Creek, which is the main supply for the lake. When the watershed is delineated, you can see that most any precipitation that lands between Thickhead and Tussey Mountains drains into Sinking Creek. We'll start our tour at the headwaters in Bear Meadows Natural Area. Designated in 1966 as a national landmark, Bear Meadows is a rare 833-acre high-altitude swamp. An 8-foot thick layer of decaying vegetation produces tannins, which give the creek its root beer-like color and foam, and make an excellent environment for the wild blueberries that flourish in the shallower areas. Water from the swamp drains on the northeast side, passes under Bear Meadows Road, and forms Sinking Creek. The creek follows Treaster Kettle Road down to Colyer Lake, a rather straight 4.5-mile trip, dropping nearly 600 feet in elevation along the way. During its descent, the creek flows past a community of hunting cabins. These cabins make up a majority of the dwellings along the creek, making tourism one of the main industries as well as one of the main sources of pollution for the watershed. One camp in particular stands as a reminder of a bygone era. The Treaster Kettle Civilian Conservation Corps was based in this cabin from 1933 to 1943. The inscriptions on this foundation stone show the initials of 6 of the boys who worked at the camp. An old barn, stone walls, and tree plantations can still be found around the 180-acre campsite. Remnants of numerous dams and sawmills can also be found along Sinking Creek. This dam was built on the Corps' campground to create the original Colyer Lake. This undoubtedly provided these inner-city boys with hours of cool recreation after a hard day's work. When the Corps left, they burned down the cabins that they had constructed, leaving only stone foundations and chimneys to mark their existence. However, due to a surveying error, the main cabin was built on private land, and the owner didn't allow it to be demolished. Timber harvesting has always been part of the watershed's history. Before Dr. Joseph Rothrock acquired the land in the early 1900s, iron furnaces and tanneries had pretty much stripped the area of all standing timber. Dr. Rothrock saw the need for sound forestry management and became the state's first forestry commissioner. Though the majority of the forest around this part of Sinking Creek is managed by the Pennsylvania State Forestry Department, privately owned woodlands border the state forest. Loggers are required to have an erosion plan to reduce runoff into the creek. By selling firewood cutting permits, the Forestry Department reduces unsightly logging debris while providing a heating source for area cabins. As the creek approaches Colyer Lake, it is divided into 2 streams. A small dam allows water above a set level to flow into the lake. The rest of the water is channeled around the lake to rejoin with the lake's outflow. This makes Colyer an off-stream lake, meaning that it only borrows excess water from Sinking Creek. This design allows Colyer to help regulate downstream water levels. This can help reduce flooding during heavy rains while preserving wetlands by assuring that the lake doesn't take water from the creek when the water level is low. At the other end of the lake, an earthen dam allows the water that flowed into the lake to return to Sinking Creek and continue on its way down Penns Valley towards Spring Mills.
I hope you've enjoyed our tour of the Sinking Creek watershed. By understanding a watershed, you can help preserve it for the future.